For Pacifica Radio, I'm Teresa Wierzbianska. Bethlehem citizens struggling in ongoing Israeli assaults will have a quiet Christmas with no public celebrations planned. Charles Deladesma reports.
Celebrations in biblical town Bethlehem, revered by Christians as Jesus' birthplace, are usually attended by thousands of people from around the world. But this year, Bethlehem prepares to mark its second Christmas under the shadow of the war in Gaza. There are almost no tourists. So Bethlehem's Christmas celebrations will be sombre and muted, in deference to the ongoing war in Gaza, explains Mayor of Bethlehem Anton Salman.
Always the message of Bethlehem is a message of peace and hope. And these days we are also sending our message to the world, peace and hope, but insisting that the world must work to end our suffering as Palestinian people, to end the occupation.
There'll be no giant Christmas tree in Manger Square, no raucous scout marching bands, no public lights twinkling, and very few public decorations or displays. Since the war in Gaza began, tourism to Israel and the Israeli-occupied West Bank has plummeted. I'm Charles Deladesma.
Israeli Defense Minister Israel Katz has, for the first time, openly acknowledged that Israel was responsible for the July assassination of Hamas leader Ismail Haniyeh in Tehran. Katz made the statement while issuing threats against the leadership of the Houthi movement in Yemen.
We will damage its strategic infrastructure, and we will behead its leaders, just as we did to Haniyeh, Sinwar, and Nasrallah, in Tehran, Gaza, and Lebanon. We will do it in Hodeidah and Sana'a. Whoever will raise his hand to Israel, his hand will be severed. The IDF's long arm will harm him and will settle the score.
A septuagenarian Israeli woman who was taken hostage during Hamas's attack on southern Israel on October 7, 2023, has died. She was among the 250 hostages the Palestinian militant group took back into Gaza following the surprise attack that left about 1,200 people dead. Israel's subsequent bombardment and ground invasion have killed over 45,000 Palestinians in Gaza, more than half of them women and children, according to Gaza's health ministry, which does not distinguish between fighters and civilians in its count. Meanwhile, the head of an international aid group said Tuesday that American journalist Austin Tice, who has been missing in Syria since 2012, is believed to be still alive. Health officials in Gaza report that Israel targeted the Al-Kamal Adwan hospital in northern Gaza and forced injured and sick patients to evacuate the Indonesian hospital, further straining Gaza's already devastated healthcare system. Israeli artillery struck the third floor of Al-Auda hospital, while remote-controlled explosives were detonated outside Kamal Adwan hospital, which is barely operational after multiple attacks. Dr. Hussam Abu Safia, director of Kamal Adwan Hospital, spoke about the situation on Al Jazeera.
Just now, one of the explosives planted by the Israeli army detonated. It caused a shockwave that shattered the hospital doors and windows on the west side. It also injured some of the patients, and the very few medical staff left at the hospital. Roughly 20 people were hurt. A second, stronger explosion followed. It caused massive damage to the hospital's west wing, and more patients were injured. The entire west wing's doors and windows were all smashed, and the false ceiling collapsed.
The United Nations reported yesterday that the Director General of the World Health Organization said that the reports of bombardment near the Kamal Adwan Hospital and orders to evacuate are worrisome, and reiterated that civilians and civilian infrastructure, including hospitals, must be protected. The House Ethics Committee's long-awaited report into former Representative Matt Gaetz documents a trove of salacious allegations of misconduct, including sex with an underage girl, that tanked the Florida Republicans' nomination to lead the Justice Department. Citing text messages, travel receipts, online payments, and other evidence, the committee painted a picture of a lifestyle in which Gaetz and others connected with younger women for drug-fueled parties, events, or trips, with the expectation the women would be paid for their participation. Gaetz, who has filed a last-minute lawsuit to try to block the report's release Monday, slammed the committee's findings. Gaetz has denied any wrongdoing and has has insisted he never had sex with a minor. I'm Teresa Wersbianska for Pacifica Radio.